Hello, greetings of the day. This is Divakar Upadhyay Aryal. I am a lecturer at the Central Department of English at Tribhuvan University, Kirtipur, Kashmir, Nepal. And in this short 5-slide video, I'm explaining uh, how we can use personal experience as evidence in personal public argument essay. This video was prepared as part of my preparations for my academic writing class in third semester that is scheduled for February 26, Sunday 2023. And I also want my students from my class at the department to watch my video and learn from it. And I'm sharing it here on my YouTube channel and on my social media as well, because I think that such stuff might interest writing teachers, as well as it might be useful to students not from my class. In order to prepare this material, I watched some YouTube videos and took help from some YouTube videos. I also read a couple of pages from some books on teaching personal public argument and writing personal public arguments. Here we start. So, as I said, I will talk about using personal experience as evidence in personal public argument essays. Let's move ahead. Because uh, uh, mostly, I should say, mostly our evidence in personal public arguments, our evidence to support the claims we make in personal public arguments, they will come from things that we have read in books, magazines, newspapers, for example. They will come from television episodes and serials we have watched. They will come from our life experience. They will come from things that we remember. So primarily, uh, we will bring specific personal experience as evidence. Please keep in mind the word is specific. I said you are not supposed to bring a general experience, but your experience should be something that happened in your life with you at certain time, at certain place, in certain situation. So tell a very personal experience that supports or backs up the point you are trying to make in your personal public argument essay. Okay, let's move ahead. Uh, so what is a specific personal experience then? Because in the previous slide, I said that your experience should be specific, not general. So what is a specific personal experience? A specific personal experience can be description of a specific event that either you witnessed or were part of it. Let me give an example. Back in 1986 or 85, I guess, I was a class 9 student in India. And one day, my biology teacher bullied me in class in front of my classmates. It was winter season, probably the month of October or November. And my habit was that because I didn't have a number of sweaters, so if it was too cold, I would put on a number of shirts, 6, 7, 8 shirts, and I will tuck the colors of all shirts inward, and I will button the outmost shirt to hide the 6, 7 shirts I'm wearing. And then I'll go to school. And putting on 6, 7 shirts was much warmer than putting on a sweater. I don't know how my biology teacher had known this secret of mine. And one day he was teaching biology, and all of a sudden he says, "Dekho ladko, tumko pata hai? Hello boys, do you know this boy?" He points at me. "This boy comes from the hills in Nepal where it's too cold." He says, "And this boy wears 7, 8 shirts." Then he calls me in Hindi. "Idhar aao, come here." Then I have goosebumps on my skin. I feel insulted. I feel traumatized because he singled me out in front of the class. Then I walk to the podium teacher's desk. Then he holds my collar with his thick, uh, fleshy black hands and makes me face towards the class. And then addresses the class and says, "Look, how many shirts he's wearing." And he asked me, "Kitne shirt pan rakhe ho? How many shirts have you been wearing?" And he starts unbuttoning my shirts one by one, counting 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. The more buttons he untucks or opens, I feel like every time he opens a button, I feel like a bullet has wounded my heart. And I felt unimaginably insulted in front of my class. So what I did, I described a personal experience from my childhood days when I was in class 9 in my college, when my biology teacher, whose name was Gajendra Bahadur Singh, I was in class 9, B1 section. I remember the classroom was on the third floor by the staircase, and it was, I guess, second period when he did this thing to me, and he insulted me, and the whole class was witness. I can never forget. I cried and cried in the class, and then in the break time, I was so traumatized I could not face my friends, and I just left the college and came home crying, and I narrated the whole experience to my father, who was himself a school college principal in another college. Then I didn't go to college for 2, 3 days. My father would ask me to go. I was not ready. Then my father wrote a letter to my school principal, and then whose name was Devendra Pratap Srivastav. And my school principal one day arranged a meeting among my father, me, my biology teacher in his office. Then the teacher came, my father was there, I was there, the principal was there, and then the teacher realized that he shouldn't have done that, and he felt sorry. Then only after about a week, I could return back to my class. So what I did, I shared with you an experience of how sometimes, unfortunately, teachers bully students. I'm sorry if you have ever felt bullied in my writing class. Let me know if you have had such experience. So what I did, I said, you bring a specific personal experience, right? Not general. And I shared with you my personal experience of how I was bullied by a teacher in class 9. So we bring specific personal experience to begin a personal public essay. Let's move ahead. So, what are some of the important things that we need to consider while drafting a personal public essay? Let's read one by one. I brought some points. These points are prepared on the basis of watching some videos on YouTube. If you browse through YouTube, you might find videos that describe such points. Do not use hypothetical situation as it leads to weaker evidence. Yes. In first semester academic writing 1, in chapter 1, you read the book Ideas in Detail. The first chapter was titled as The Honest Writer. And you read that honesty is the most important thing in writing. You read that you should speak your heart out. You should not bluff. You should not fake your stories, right? If your reader feels that you're hiding something, they won't be interested in reading you. They won't trust you. You would lose your trust. So do not imagine situations. Write what happened. One idea will be, you can pause my video here. You can take a pen and copy and sit down and just do a fast writing where you recall, or you can just make bullets, points, or you can make outlines, or you can make what do you call I don't get the word. What do you call the circles that are connected together? I just can't remember the word. Anyway, I want you to pause my video here, take a pen, and remember some of the unforgettable moments from your life. They can be about anything. I shared my experience of being bullied at school. So can you just pause the video here and write 5 to 10 things you remember from your life which have had lasting impression on you? There might be good experience examples, or there might be bad experience examples. Just don't worry. Just bring out your whatever is lying deep inside your memory. So second point, a personal experience of a real specific event will serve as a stronger option because it creates an emotional appeal or ethical appeal. See, when you speak true to your reader, they trust you. When you speak something very personal from your life, it creates a sort of emotional appeal to your reader. But when you fake examples, your reader loses trust in you, and your reader thinks you're a liar, you're a mediocre writer. Those who bluff, those who fake details, those who fake truth, they are mediocre writers. They are not writers at all. A good writer is one who honestly brings out the voice of his heart. So when you speak your heart, I remember 5 years back, I read one personal public essay at the department where one student narrated his experience of being sexually molested when once he had been participating at night in a marriage party, how someone, a gay person, tried to sexually molest him. So you bring personal, real experiences, true experiences, because a true experience will create a bond, trust with you, between you and a reader. It will make emotional appeal, and because your reader thinks what you're telling is true, it will also create ethical appeal. It will make you a credible person in the eyes of your reader or audience. So the third point, do not describe your experience in a general term. Give specific detail. I'm reinforcing the same idea. Name the name. In my previous example, you heard me, I said my biology teacher was Gajendra Bahadur Singh. My principal's name was Devendra Pratap Srivastav. My college name was Cooperative Inter College. My class was 9. My section was B1. My classroom was by the side of the staircase. It was second period. Look, I gave specific details as much as possible, right? Fourth point, discuss what you were thinking during that experience. Although in my previous narration, I could not very well discuss how I was thinking. Let me go back and say, when he called me with my name, and he used an epithet. He used an epithet. He said, "Oh, Pahadi, idhar aao. Oh, boy from the hills, come here." That term Pahadi, in Indian society, the word Pahadi is used as a derogatory epithet to insult people from the mountains. Just as the other word is Bahadur. If you watch Bollywood films, a lot of the time you will see a dialogue that says Bahadur. And Bahadur is an insulting, derogatory epithet that many people use to refer to people from the mountains, particularly Nepalese people, right? So when he used that epithet, "Oh Bahadur idhar aao," I had goosebumps. I felt as if somebody had punched me a blow, like a boxer has punched a blow on my face. I could barely see with my eyes. There were flashing lights before my eyes. I could see, what do you call, I don't know the English word, I'll use Nepali word, mustard flowers. In Nepali, you say when somebody blows you on the face, when somebody puts you in a very difficult situation, you see mustard seeds. I don't get the English expression for this. Like, this is my my lack of command of English language, right? And you know, As I walked to the class, I felt as if I was walking on fire, right? And with heavy steps, I walked to the front, and he held me by the collar. I could, I felt like a Hulk, a Hulk from the hell was lifting me up like a wrestler. My biology teacher's body looked like a wrestler with thick, bulging cheeks, meaty cheeks, and rough skin, unshaven beard, and 5 kilogram, palm, right? Brown skin, thick skin. Okay, so try to uh, tell how you were feeling at the moment when this thing happened to you. I gave you just brief example. Next, discuss what you saw during that experience. So, first, you tell what you were thinking when this happened. I was thinking, how dare this teacher misbehave like this with me? I was thinking, why does he have to call me in the middle of his biology class? I was thinking, why he is so biased against me on the basis of my race. I was thinking, uh, uh, why this biology teacher doesn't care about uh, how his students would feel if he humiliates and insults them. Look what I'm doing. I'm throwing light on how many times students are or might be ill treated in a classroom by the teachers. Okay, next slide. Discuss what you saw during that experience. So I saw my friends. I saw that the class was stunned and silent. I saw that everybody was gazing at me, and each friend's gaze pierced through my heart like an arrow. You know, their gazes were stabbing me like a stagger. They were not looking. They were not looking. They were stabbing me through my heart. That's what I saw. I saw my biology teacher, how he was laughing at me. I wish I could know some other synonyms for laugh to describe exactly his I'll say his lure. I don't know how a villain laughs. My biology teacher was laughing like a Bollywood villain, like Amrish Puri, because at that time I saw my teacher not as a teacher, I saw my teacher as a villain. Next, discuss what people said or did throughout that specific experience. I told you, he pulled me, holding at my collar, and one by one, he would unbutton my shirts and open them. One, he would count 1, 2, 3, 4, and I felt he's a hangman who is counting 5 to 0 to pull the noose on my neck and hang me till death. I felt as if my biology teacher was hanging me till I die, and he was counting the last reverse number to pull the what do you call knot and kill me. Discuss what people said or did throughout that specific. And my friend said nothing because my teacher would look like a wrestler, look like a villain. Nobody had any sort of courage to speak anything. They were stunned. I guess my friends also did not like, but I don't know if some of them were enjoying enjoying this scene. My teacher created a great drama in the class, a drama of racial prejudice, a drama of racial discrimination, a drama of bullying in education. Right? Last point, give specific names and locations. Yes, I told you this thing happened to me in 1986, winter, October or November month. I can't exactly remember because it's more than 30 years. It happened to me in class 9. I was in section B1. It was a science stream class. My teacher was biology teacher. His name was Gajendra Bahadur Srivastav. My principal's name was Devendra Pratap Srivastav. My college name was Cooperative Inter College, Piparais, Gorakhpur, India. And uh, yes, these are the details, right? So, what I said, these are the 7 important things you consider when you bring your personal experience, right? Let's move ahead. Let's talk about some of the mistakes that you should avoid while you bring personal public experience. Okay, it is not always enough just to tell about the experience. You should explain it in detail and interpret it for the audience. In first semester academic writing 1, in the chapter ideas and details, somewhere you read, the writer says that you should not only tell your reader, you should show. Particularly, you read up this thing in when you read about descriptive essays. In that book, Ideas and Details, under the section where your teacher taught you descriptive essays, your teacher must have talked about that, telling and showing. For example, if you mostly use action verbs describing actions, then you will be telling your reader. But if you could use adverbs, how somebody was doing, if you could add adjectives, mostly, showing is done by using adjectives. You should create images, visual images, auditory images, tactile images, gustatory images, olfactory images, right? So the first thing we are saying is that do not tell what happened. Show. In my previous example, though this not, I could not make do a better showing. But if I was writing, I'll revise it and I'll consult glossaries, I'll consult thesauruses, I'll consult Google, I'll Google and bring more vocabulary, vivid description. Create vivid images in your description of your experience. So the point is, do not just tell about the experience, explain it in vivid details. Bring statistics, tell a story, tell facts, give examples, give reasons, create imagery, use metaphors, use similes, use figures of experience. Make your reader see on your page, not just read. A good example of such writing can be uh, The Kite Runner by Khalid Hosseini. Just read the opening paragraph of that novel, The Kite Runner, by Pakistani born American novelist Khalid Hosseini, and you will be amazed seeing the beauty of descriptive writing. Okay, second point. Do not assume that the audience will just understand what point you're trying to make. See, it's very, very crucial. Most often I've found that students just tell the experience and move to the next topic. No. Okay, I told you my experience that my biology teacher insulted me, bullied me in the class. Now let me do the next thing. It says, do not assume your audience will just understand what point you're making. What point am I making? So let me tell now. So dear friends, my story tells how in schools we students many times suffer racial discrimination, racial prejudices, how we are bullied not only by our classmates, but also by our teachers who are supposed to protect us like our parents outside home. The supposed parents insult us, behave as like villain, and sharing this experience makes me remember reading John Halt's essay School is Bad for Children, where Holt says how many times teachers in school insult children and make children traumatized. They traumatize students, and students have psychological trauma and they fail to learn, and school becomes unimaginably horrible experience, and students fail to learn anything at all in the classroom. So the point I'm making is that a school has to be like a home. A teacher has to be like a parent, like a mother. Sometimes I remember reading somewhere a teacher should have hands of a father and the heart of a mother. I don't know how appropriate this proverb is. I maybe today we'll disagree that a teacher should be hands of a father. Maybe we mean a teacher should be strict and demanding, and a teacher should make students fulfill the academic requirements. And when you say a teacher should have the heart of a mother, what we mean is that a teacher should always care his students, needs and sensibilities. Okay, I don't know if I gave a good example, but the point is, tell the experience, then write what point you are trying to make by the experience. The point I was trying to make was the issue of bullying of the students in schools by teachers. Third, your interpretation of the experience helps your reader understand what they should have learned out of the story you just told them. So you first tell the story. I told you the story about my biology teacher, Gajendra Bahadur Singh, and he called me, "Hey, party, idhar aao," and he unbuttoned my 8, 9 shirts and insulted me in front of my classmates. That was the story I told you. Now, second, I made an interpretation. I interpreted the story to imply how, in our educational system, students are often bullied, insulted, traumatized, and how this has very adverse effect on the learning process. I could not continue studying science after class 9 because of that experience, and I switched to humanities. You wouldn't believe that because of my biology teacher's insulting behavior in class 9, I quit. I stopped science faculty and I moved to humanities, where I met my English teacher who changed my life forever. And I'm today your English teacher because I met an English teacher in class 9. I wish I had enough time to tell this experience also here, but because I'm making a short video, I won't go into that. I won't delve into second experience. So it says your interpretation of the experience helps your reader understand what they should have learned out of the story you just told them. Fourth point, make sure you show how the evidence you just gave connects to the thesis statement that you stated at the beginning of your essay. I hope in first semester academic writing one course, I guess it was chapter 4, where you read about paragraph writing, and I guess it was 5 or 6, I forgot, where you read about uh, bringing unity out of the chaos, and you read that how the thesis statement functions like a flag in the rally. In a political rally, you will see mass of 1,000 people carrying single flag on a tall pole, and it is this flag around which all people rally. So what does the flag do? The flag works as a magnet, and it brings all the people under it together. In the same way, your thesis statement is the heart of the essay. Your central idea is the heart of the essay, and every single paragraph in an essay, every single sentence in an essay stems, emerges, develops, expands, forks out from this thesis statement. And your experience should back up your thesis statement. If my essay title is if my essay title is uh, 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 great teachers I can't forget. If my essay is great teachers I have had in my life, then my experience, I told you earlier, is inappropriate, because my experience shows a mean teacher, not a great teacher. If my essay is teachers as parents, then maybe I can give this example to mean that one teacher should not be like this. But even then, I would say my example is not appropriate. So the point I'm making is that the experience you bring should support the argument you are making in your personal public argument essay. Okay, last point. If you assume that your audience will figure it out, it will all end up confusing your audience here. Never imagine that you just tell the story and leave, your reader will get the point. No. As a writer, it's your 100% responsibility to make your reader understand everything. And if your reader doesn't understand something in your writing, it's your fault, not the reader's fault. The reader doesn't understand because you're not telling things clearly, you're not telling things honestly. So do not assume that it's enough to tell the experience. Interpret your experience, explain your experience, tell in clear terms what point you're making from that experience. So these are the 5 things you should follow or things you should avoid while bringing your personal experience to begin your personal public essay. Let's move ahead further. Okay, there's nothing to move on further. We have come to the end of this end of the this slide. I was preparing for my class tomorrow, your class, and I made this slide. I'm not going to show this slide in the class because I don't want to use time for my thing in the class. I want to save time to make it right in the class. Hopefully, I guess you will find time to watch my video. And if you watch my video, write couple of paragraphs or one paragraph at least assignment. Please take a pause the video, take a pen and copy, write one paragraph summarizing what you learned about using personal experience in personal public argument. One paragraph. Scan your paragraph with your name, section, date, everything clearly, and mail me by Sunday morning. So here is assignment as well. Let me go back to the first slide. Okay, so I used 5 slides and I don't know how much time I took. I was using Zoom platform to make this video. Now I will pause the recording and then I will upload this video to my YouTube channel and send you the link in your group page. Thank you so much for watching me, listening me. Thank you. Let me just show myself. Thank you so much. So do not forget to do the assignment. I said write one paragraph summarizing what you learned watching my video about using personal experience as evidence in personal public argument. If I find time, I might make more such videos, but I've seen that you don't have time to watch such things. And sometimes I feel you have no interest in such things. That's a sorry thing. Thank you.